In 1987, a landmark case of Schneider versus Revici, the Second Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals wrote, and I quote, "We see no reason why a patient should not be allowed to make an informed decision to go outside currently approved medical methods in search of unconventional treatments," end quote. Almost everyone agrees that they should have medical freedom of choice for themselves. However, some are ready to deny that right to others. This is usually done under the guise of consumer protection. Under democracy, you cannot legitimately claim a right for yourself that you are not willing to extend to others. Why do we need a health freedom bill? The following are excerpts from recorded testimony.
Dan Newsom opened a naturopathic practice in Toledo in January of 2003. In March 2003, Newsom was investigated by the medical board. The investigation was concluded with no problem being found. In November of 2004, 12 SWAT team officials in full gear raided his office. This was based on a complaint from a local chiropractor. There was not a single client complaint. The charge was a 5th-degree felony of practicing medicine without a license, for which a court summons is typically issued, not sending in armed officers. The jury found him not guilty. However, the legal fees cost him his house and his business.
In April 1997, a practitioner with a PhD in nutrition was investigated after a dietitian picked up a flyer in a health food store for a class, Healthy Cooking with Soy. The issue was a practitioner referring to soy as healthy. The Dietitians Board again contacted the practitioner in mid-1998, then again in February 1999. The practitioner added a dietitian to her staff, thinking that would be the end of it. But by September of 1999, the board's investigation even threatened the dietitian. The investigation continued into 2001, costing the practitioner over $20,000 in legal fees, then was dropped with no change to her practice.
In 1999, the Dietitians Board informed a naturopath in Central Ohio that saying anything that would motivate someone to change their diet in any way was considered the practice of dietetics and prohibited in Ohio. The naturopath was further informed that she could not even suggest a book because that would be holding herself out as an expert on who the experts were. This same naturopath was investigated again in 2004, costing her in excess of $18,000 and many hours away from her practice. The investigation ended in 2007 without any fundamental changes to her practice.
The Dietitians Board harassed a naturopath in Northeast Ohio in 2003. The board offered to leave her alone if her friend, a registered nurse, would sign that she also worked in the office. The nurse refused as she did not work there. After continued harassment, the naturopath left the state. It is interesting that a nurse with a single 3-credit course in nutrition is considered better informed on nutrition than someone with a doctoral degree. These are not isolated incidences. From 2005 through 2009, the Ohio Dietitians Board investigated 114 practitioners. The complaint in each case was made not by a client, but by a dietitian.
Unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize into an underground dictatorship. To restrict the art of healing to one class of men and deny equal privileges to others will constitute the Bastille of medical science. All such laws are un-American and despotic and have no place in a republic. The Constitution of this republic should make special privilege for medical freedom as well as religious freedom. Dr. Benjamin Rush, signer of the Declaration of Independence. Economist Milton Friedman published an essay called Capitalism and Freedom, in which he states the pressure to license an occupation rarely comes from the members of the public, but invariably comes from members of the occupation itself.
Delegates at the 67th Annual Meeting of the American Dietetics Association were given the following instructions for passing a dietitian licensing law in their state. Quote, "When you pass the law, you've passed a very open framework. Get the minimum framework that will keep you happy and sock it to them with the rules and regulations because you sure can. The other thing about our board is the enforcement. We are the judge and we are the jury, and I consider that very important." End quote. There are also members of the alternative community who want to legislate that anyone offering alternative therapies register and pay a yearly fee to help create an alternative board. Using the same tactics used by dietitians themselves, this board would regulate who may speak and what they can say. Do you need another board regulating and enforcing information you are allowed to hear?
A health freedom bill protects the consumer's right to a free and educated choice of practitioners. Defend health freedom like your life depended upon it, because it just might.
Ohio Sunshine Health Freedom Coalition is a watchdog committee protecting your right to choose. Please join us at ohiohealthfreedom.com.